Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Darrell Willis, and I work for Home Street Bank, and I am honored to welcome all of you and to be your MC here today. Now, I just gotta say this, I'm nervous, and so I hope I don't babble through, but I just want to let you all know that we are so thrilled that you are here, and I'll do a lot of reading, and so hopefully that will not distract. Continue to eat as I do, and we'll continue through the program. So thank you so much for being here today. I am proud to be a member of Evergreen Goodwill's Board of Directors, and on behalf of my fellow board directors, staff members, and thousands of Evergreen Goodwill students and graduates, I want to thank you for joining us today. Before we go any further, though, it is with great respect that we acknowledge this event is taking place on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded land of the Coast Salish peoples, specifically the first people of the Seattle Duwamish. We honor their ancestors as we acknowledge past, present, and future Salish peoples as the original inhabitants of the land. Thank you so much for continuing your conversations and your meal. Today would not be possible without support from our sponsors. I would like to especially thank our presenting sponsor, Boeing, and our leading sponsors, Complete Office and USI. Thank you for investing in Evergreen Goodwill. I would also like to recognize special and honored guests here today. Today we have Representative Frank Chop in the room. Voila. Along with Deputy Mayor Yamaguchi. Welcome and thank you. We are coming together today as a community, online and here in the room, new friends and longtime supporters. For many of us today feels like a reunion. It really does feel like a reunion, doesn't it? Isn't it great to see the faces and to see people again and not on a Zoom? Yeah, it's great. This is a time for us to reconnect, and really it's also a time for us to reflect. Since its founding nearly 100 years ago, Goodwill has been defined by its community, and defined by that community coming together to support our neighbors. So I celebrate this wonderful community before me for answering a call to action to make a difference, to make an impact for good. Just about everyone is familiar with our thrift stores as both a place to donate items and to go after some treasures. One of my favorite things to do on a Saturday afternoon. You'll see me there. But we also provide job training and education classes in King, Kitsap, Snohomish, Skagit, and Whatcom counties. So all of those things that you purchase, people purchase, they go to funding our job training, education areas in these particular counties, which is fantastic. So Evergreen Goodwill's job training and education staff have been instrumental in innovating to respond to the needs of our community over the last 2 years. I'm so excited to hear from my twin, Darrell Campbell, who's here in the room. You'll be able to tell us apart. He's got the facial hair. I got to say it. So he shows up. We haven't seen each other in 2 years. We're wearing the same clothes. Different tie, so if this goes sour for me, just remember it was Darrell Campbell that's speaking in this part, not Darrell Willis. I'm kidding. I love this man. I'm kidding. But we're dressed alike, so you can tell us a little apart by the tie. But Darrell Campbell is here today, and he's going to talk about the future plans to expand digital equity, which is also very critical for our communities, and he's going to talk about the future of Evergreen Goodwill. Very compelling. I know you're going to enjoy his discussion. Part of that innovation includes how classes are offered, transitioning some online, and reimagining how others can be delivered. We offer adult basic education training, which includes classes like English for speakers of other languages, computers, and high school completion. Our career readiness programs teach workplace skills like online job search and customer service essentials. I'm going to plug here too. I'm in banking. And I'll tell you, finding people to work in this industry has been really difficult, and I'm so thankful for the skill set that our students have when they come out of some of the training, because they're able to really plug and play much more quickly than we would imagine. This is really great for our local economy and for businesses here. So that's just a plug about how pleased I am. Also, our sector pathways training helps youth and adults connect with high-demand fields like construction, manufacturing, aerospace, and maritime. Classes are only a part of the equation, though. We provide pathways of success to provide to help students connect with critical services that meet their basic needs, such as food, housing, and transportation. So we don't leave it up to, we don't let those be barriers for those who truly want to find ways to get the skills that they need. This integrated, holistic approach is central to Evergreen Goodwill's identity, and it creates incredible opportunity. And that is why we're here today, to raise funds to keep Evergreen Goodwill's programs free and accessible to members of our community who need them the most. See, in everyone's life, there are what I like to call pivot points. And that's an event or an opportunity that changes a person's direction and their trajectory. As a community, as organization, as individuals, we have the opportunity to create pivot points, and we're going to talk more about that today. So those times in your life where someone or something has made a difference and has changed or informed the way that you're moving, those are gifts, and we have an opportunity to really enhance some of those for others today. So think about those that are in your life and how we translate that going forward. Now, I would like to introduce the other Daryl Campbell, Evergreen Goodwill's president and CEO, to share more about Evergreen Goodwill of Northwest Washington, our progress, and our future. It is my great pleasure to welcome Daryl to the stand.
Twin sons of different mothers.
As you can see.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow. I am so honored to be here. I really am, with all of you for Impact for Good, and so grateful that you have chosen to spend part of your day with us. Thank you so much for coming on out. As Daryl mentioned, Impact for Good is our first in-person event in over 2 years, and it is so great to be back. Things surely are a lot different than they were back in 2019. One thing you may have noticed on our end is that we've changed our name. After almost 98 years as Seattle Goodwill, we are now Evergreen Goodwill of Northwest Washington. Making this change allows us to better reflect our work, not only the work that we do here in Seattle, but in all of the communities that we serve throughout Northwest Washington. It also gives us the opportunity to fully acknowledge our staff, our students, partners, and supporters across all of our 5 counties, because they partner with us to help us change and transform lives through the power of work. But while our name may be new, our mission to provide free job training and education to individuals experiencing barriers to employment, well, that mission remains the same. And you might say our mission is evergreen. As some of you may know, next year in 2023, Evergreen Goodwill will celebrate its centennial, 100 years in this community. Thank you. Over the last century, our region and organization have faced many challenges, and being here today to acknowledge the long-standing impact that Goodwill has had on our communities reminds us of our enduring ability to adapt to change while always doing whatever is necessary to prepare our students for success in the workplace. Even through uncertain times, Goodwill continues to deliver on that mission. Surely all of us here have felt the profound impact of the pandemic in our own lives, but perhaps not more than the thousands in our communities who lost hours, pay, even lost their job as a result of COVID-19. Today, over half of job seekers struggle to even apply for jobs or keep the jobs that they already have due to a lack of skills or proper training. Now more than ever, Evergreen Goodwill's job training programs are critical to ensuring that our region thrives and that everyone be given the chance to experience equitable economic opportunities. No matter what's happening out there in this very unpredictable world, Goodwill responds. We've now implemented best practices for delivering remote and hybrid classes, and we continue to utilize, develop, and expand technology to better serve individuals and families throughout the entire region. Last year, as the pandemic continued to rage, Evergreen Goodwill still served more than 2,700 students through online and in-person classes. We provide students with the essential technology that they need, tablets, laptops, internet hotspots, for use in online courses, job searches, and personal development. And we do all of that for free. We've been teaching computer classes at Goodwill since back in the 1980s. For the past decade, we've made it our highest priority to teach basic digital skills and build our students' digital competency through each and every one of our programs and classes. But let's talk about the future. Going forward, we are focused on digital equity and digital literacy for every one of our students, and not just within the region that we serve, but now, working together with 4 other Washington Goodwills, we are providing digital equity throughout the entire state of Washington. Our impact, thank you. Our impact for good is reaching beyond our region in Northwest Washington. So here at Evergreen Goodwill, we have worked extremely hard to build the essential infrastructure to accommodate students' remote learning needs and to meet that need right where our students live, in the heart of those communities where digital inequities are often the greatest. Just this past April, we launched Evergreen Goodwill's first ever Digital Equity Bus, a state-of-the-art mobile classroom to provide classes and services to individuals in rural communities and tribal nations, where there's limited access to Wi-Fi, internet, and technology hardware. Our Digital Equity Bus, or DEB, as we lovingly refer to her, this bus allows us to bring our job training and education programs, digital training, workforce development programs, and wraparound support services directly to rural and historically under-resourced communities across Northwest Washington. We've started in Whatcom County, and over time we will expand throughout all of the 5 counties in our region. By offering innovative programs and services like these, we're able to provide individuals and families more than ever before with life-changing resources so that they can reach their full potential, earn family-sustaining wages, and share in the dignity and the prosperity that comes through the power of work. In a few moments, you're going to meet Cosmos, one of Evergreen Goodwill's remarkable graduates and an incredibly inspiring human being. All of our students have unique and inspiring stories to tell about their journeys, their challenges, and their triumphs. As we gather to celebrate Goodwill's impact here in Northwest Washington, let's also celebrate them for their fortitude, their tenacity, and their courage. Facing so many obstacles and barriers, they come to Goodwill determined to succeed and to advance their education and career goals. And they do. Their perseverance is truly inspiring. So let's applaud them. Before I go, I'd like to recognize our devoted staff for their unwavering commitment to the mission, those who've put this together today, those who do this work every single day. Thank you all so sincerely for your hard work and dedication. We cannot do this without you. To our board of directors, many of whom are here today, thank you for being champions for those we serve, for your steadfast dedication to this organization, and for pushing us to always be better at what we do. And to each of you, dedicated supporters, you inspire us with your commitment, you honor our work, and the people that we serve with your generosity. You are the foundation of this mission, and you have our deepest gratitude. And that's who we are. Together, we are Goodwill. Our mission is why Goodwill exists. Our students and our employees are the reason that we do what we do. Evergreen Goodwill has done this work for almost 100 years. We do this work today, and we will continue to do this work because jobs change lives. Thank you all so very much for being here. Enjoy the program.
Earlier, I referenced or mentioned pivot points. And so those are those opportunities, those times when you can think about in your life when someone or an organization or something or a program inspired you or changed the trajectory of your current path. And so what we want to do is kind of have a kind of discussion on your table, around your table, about those particular elements. For me, I was just out of college and started working for the bank, and I'll tell you, I didn't have anything. And one of the things that happened, I had these clothes that didn't fit. My pants were too long. I stapled them on the bottom because I didn't know how to hem. I had a hot iron at home. I was ironing the same shirt every night. I was a mess. I decided to apply for a management training program, and I went through all of the steps to kind of get prepared and get there. And I remember one of the things that just really stuck with me. I spoke with a lot of individuals about what I should do and how I should behave, and finally somebody came up to me and he said, "Here's one thing I want you to know." And this was, of course, in a corporate world. And he said, "Always be aware, always be mindful of corporate culture. Always understand where you are and what's going on and what you're doing and what the prevailing values are." Best piece of advice that I had, and serves me today, is being aware of culture and or corporate culture as it pertained to my particular trajectory. Changed and enhanced everything. So that resonates with me, and we'd like for all of you to have conversation. I know your meal has arrived, to talk a little bit about those kinds of pivot points in your particular life and how it's made a change for you. So you can go ahead and discuss and eat, and then I'll be back here momentarily. Thank you. Okay, well, based on how much conversation is happening, it sounds like there are some great stories that are being shared. I can tell that this has been a great activity for everyone. But right now, if I can direct your attention to the screens, there's another story that we'd like to share with you. This is a fantastic story, and I think you'll see yourself and you'll hear your stories in the one that you're about to see queued up right now. Thank you.
I grew up in Botswana in a very tiny rural village called Maitengwe. I had finished high school, and right after I graduated, my father died. He was the only one in my family who worked, and I did not have the qualifications to get a good job that would support my family. I wanted to be a nurse, and I just didn't know how.
He's also very shy around new people.
In 2009, I met my wife, and that is when things started to change again. I moved back with her to the United States. I had such a huge culture shock. I had no idea what I was getting into. My wife stumbled upon Goodwill on the internet. And I had no idea that Goodwill has GED prep programs. And after I was enrolled in the GED program, they would tutor me extra hours. Once I finished my GED program, I went on to medical assistant program at Seattle Vocational Institute. That medical assistant program was all paid for by Goodwill. Basically everything that I needed in school, Goodwill paid it. Books, scrubs, bus pass. I never needed to worry about those things. I just needed to focus on my education. Hi, good morning. My name is Cosmos. I'll be your nurse today. I would say that if I had finished in debt, I would not have been able to go back to nursing school because I would be accumulating more debt in addition to starting from nothing. It's been really challenging. I started in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. A lot of nurses have left the profession, but My future, I'm currently doing Washington State University Masters of Nursing in Population Health. When I graduate, I'll go to teaching because I find that in this profession of nursing, there isn't enough Africans, and I'm hoping to be a role model. My mom still wishes I could live close to her, but she's really happy to see how far I've come. That I work in a hospital as a nurse is something that I've always wanted to do. Goodwill did really help me a lot to push me to be where I am today. Goodwill, it's an awesome place.
Goodwill is an awesome place. Please help me welcome Cosmos to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Daryl, for the warm welcome. A second. I grew up in Maitengwe, a very small village in Botswana, very close to the border with Zimbabwe. As a child, I watched as the HIV epidemic reached my country and my community. One by one, I watched as I watched families die in my village helplessly. Watching this injustice unfold inspired my dream of becoming a nurse to help those in need and ensuring people receive adequate health care. Even though in reality this was difficult, I saw myself attending college and walking across the stage to graduate with a nursing degree. But before I knew it, devastation struck my home. My father, who was the sole provider in the family, died. My world came to a standstill. At 18 years old, I saw how my future would play out. My mother was a subsistence farmer with no formal education or employment. There was no way she could afford school fees. Growing up, I watched my mother work tirelessly to keep us fed. Her harvest put food on the plate for my siblings and I day after day. Even in poverty, she shared the little we had with those who had even less. She would share the grains from her field with our neighbors, many of whom were fleeing from the dire political situation in Zimbabwe. As the eldest child, I knew I had to step up. In this moment of confusion, loss, and pressure, I saw my mom's dedication and selflessness. I knew it was time to reap my own harvest. I left the village for the capital city to become a taxi driver. And yes, I had to give up my dreams of college, but this way I could keep my 4 siblings, stay in school. I worked as a driver for 9 years, all the way until my siblings graduated high school and college. Not long after, in 2009, I met my beautiful wife, Jillian. And at that point, I was just giving up on my dreams of becoming a nurse. And 3 years later, after we met, we relocated to the United States, to Seattle, Washington. I remember the day I arrived like it was yesterday. It was in September. It was a Saturday. It was 2012. I stepped out of SeaTac Airport and into the rain. You see, Botswana is a desert, and it's the opposite of here. It had been a long time since I had experienced rain, and now I see it almost every day. The culture shock was also an adjustment. I couldn't find traditional food from Botswana anywhere in the city. I had to learn to use a smartphone for the first time. Using public transport was a lot different from what I was used to. Life just seemed to move faster. For a while, I had mixed emotions about whether I had made the right decision. I was excited to start a new life, but at the same time, I worried about the choice I made, leaving everything I knew. I was eager to finally revive my dreams of pursuing a nursing degree. But I had to start at the very beginning and get a GED. As everyone does when we have no idea how to do something, my wife and I went to Google and we typed how to earn a GED. Evergreen Goodwill came up as one of the top searches. Signing up for GED prep classes was very quick and easy. I completed my placement test on Friday, and I enrolled to start the Evergreen Goodwill GED program the following Monday. When I first joined, my only goal was to get a GED. That was my focus. I had no idea that Evergreen Goodwill offered so many programs. Very quickly, I had access to countless opportunities. Claudia Sanchez, my Evergreen Goodwill navigator, was a huge support in helping me identify resources that would best support me in accomplishing my dreams. I also had an ally in Coaches Moore, my GED instructor, who would stay later after class to make sure I was set up for success. A decade later, Coaches and I still remain in touch. Evergreen was more than just a place to get my GED. The staff at Evergreen Goodwill supported me every step of the way and helped me set a course to achieve my long-term goals. With that support, I'm proud to share that in 2012, after being in the US for only 3 months, I completed the Evergreen Goodwill GED program, and I earned my GED. Thank you. I then took the Goodwill College 101 class and was humbled to receive the Goodwill Smith Family Scholarship to help support my college expenses. In 2014, I completed the medical assistant program from Seattle Vocational Institute, also with Goodwill support. In 2020, I completed my associate degree in nursing, and the following year, in 2021, I completed my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Along the way, I would volunteer at Goodwill, sharing my story and path with other students. At the start of the pandemic, I began working as a nurse at the University of Washington Medical Center in the emergency department. I work in the front line, caring for my Seattle community in the midst of a global pandemic. Today, I am enrolled in the Washington State University, on track to graduate with a Master of Nursing in 2023. I find meaning and fulfillment when serving marginalized populations, especially immigrants and refugees. I would like to continue advocating for underserved patient populations as I progress with my nursing career. After attaining my master's in nursing, I plan to become a nursing instructor to mentor nursing students from backgrounds like mine and continue serving diverse populations. I'm grateful for what I have achieved so far with Goodwill support, and I'm excited for what's to come. Every single person in this ballroom, you are here sharing your valuable and limited resources, your time, your attention, and your support, just by being here today and in attendance. Sharing your harvest is helping people transform their lives and live out their dreams. My story is only one of the thousands, but our collective impact is surely in the millions. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me.
Hi, everyone. None of you wanted to follow Cosmos, and so I'm questioning. I'm now questioning the agenda order, like it's making me question some things about my life. Thank you, Cosmos, for sharing your story with us today. I have the task of, doing the ask part, which I don't think I really need to do at this point. Cosmos has done my job for me. If I find myself in the hospital, I'm going to ask for you. That's for sure. My name is Amelia Ransom. I am the immediate past board chair of Evergreen. Ooh, almost says Seattle Goodwill. Of Evergreen Goodwill. I served for the 2 years we were in the pandemic and never got to gavel in once. Yes, I mentioned it. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm also VP of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Smartsheet. So they highlighted for me in yellow like the stuff I have to say because they know I'm probably going to go off script, so that's happening for you right now. So you've heard it all said about Seattle. Seattle is dying. Can Seattle recover? You've been in your book clubs or on the golf course or walking your dogs, and someone said, oh my God, did you go downtown recently? Oh, I don't know what, nobody's doing anything about it. I don't know what's happening. You've been in those conversations, right? Well, you here today are going to help the people who do something about it. Cosmos is exceptional, but he is not an exception. There are many people like Cosmos who walk through the doors of Evergreen Goodwill, whether virtually or in person, and we don't say no. We know that like Cosmos, people bring to us their dream that has been suppressed or been not encouraged, or they don't have a pathway to make that dream come true. And they find us, and we come along beside them and support them. That is what we do. And so if you want to be part of that solution, you'll support us because we know what we're doing. Like, we got this. We know exactly what to do. And when the pandemic happened and we sat around our board meeting, all as little, Hollywood squares on a Zoom meeting, and we thought, what will we do? The question of closing our doors was never an option. Shutting down and not serving students was never an option because they needed us more than ever. And so through this pandemic, when Daryl, one of the Daryls, one of y'all, thanked our staff and the people who stood on our front lines every day, I just want to double down on that. Because these are the people that showed up before there was a vaccine, before we really knew what this was. They showed up the way Cosmos shows up in a hospital every day, not knowing what they're going to confront, but knowing that somebody has a dream and that the barrier between the dream and it becoming reality is us. And so we will never say no. And so the next time you're in one of those conversations and someone says, oh my gosh, what's going on with Seattle? I want you to say, I'm helping. Do you want to? I'm part of the solution. Because you are supporting Evergreen Goodwill, who's part of the solution. So now I'm going to go to what they told me I have to say in yellow. Okay, listen. I'm sorry I brought up in the church and we preach, okay? I have a tambourine in both houses. I'm just letting you know right now. Oh, I said that part already. We did ask you to think about a pivot point. I said my pivot point at my table, and my husband had never heard it before, and so it was about a time I almost got kicked out of college, and so maybe he hadn't heard that before. It's okay. It's all right. But many of our students have those pivot points. I'll come up with a better pivot point, babe. I promise. Like, I'll come up with one that's not so embarrassing next time. Here's what I want to do. I want to tell you how you can support us. I want to tell you how you can make a gift to Evergreen Goodwill so that we never even have to worry about closing our doors. So we never, not that we're in jeopardy of closing our doors. Daryl's stressed out over there that I said that. That we're not, but that we can continue to support this community. That we can continue to make our economy as inclusive as possible. That the people who show up at our doors every day will know that we can continue to support them no matter what their dream. And so here's how you make your gift. First of all, whatever you came in this door thinking about, you really gonna have to double that, right? I mean, seriously, because here's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to show up in the emergency room and see Cosmos and he's like, really? Huh? Oh, really? Because Cosmos is gonna text me and be like, did Daryl give? And I'm like, a little bit. So give him a little bit of surgery. Don't let it be you. Because I'm telling you right now, Cosmos, when you see me, 5-star treatment. That's all I'm saying. My gift, doubled. So there are 3 ways that you can give. You can use the envelope on your table. You see them on your table. You can hand it to a staff member. I was told, don't hand it to me. I might buy some shoes. You can give electronically with your phone. There's a QR code. You can text that number. You'll get a QR code. You can text IMPACT to 833-241-7123. Oh, I had to say that for the people online. Hi, people online. 833-241-7123 to get a link to give, and we'll also put a link in the chat. See, I had to say that. They highlighted it, so I had to say it. We have a special opportunity this afternoon to double our impact. Thanks to the generosity of the Howard Family Trust, the Lockton Companies, Integra Supply, and other members of the matching pool, every gift of $250 or above will be matched up to 100%, up to $18,000. Y'all, $18,000 is nothing. Listen, I'm looking at some of you. Some of y'all wearing $18,000 worth of clothes right now. Come on. Give us your money. Give us your money. We're going to do good with it. That means that a $250 gift match becomes a $500 gift and so on. Y'all are probably good at math, which is why you're here too. I'm not, which is why I married well. So don't forget, use the envelope on your table, hand it to a staff member before you leave. Like, don't write the check and then take it with you. That's not cute. Give electronically with your phone or scan the QR code in your program or text IMPACT to 833-241-7123. Together, I know we can reach our goal of raising $175,000 today. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
This is the end of our formal program, and while the program may be over, you are welcome to stay and finish your dessert and your conversations. Just a reminder, if you filled out an envelope rather than giving via your phone, please hand it to the staff with baskets at the door as you leave. Also, if you are a table host, we invite you to take the floral counterpiece from your table as a token of our appreciation. Thank you for hosting a table, and thank you again so much, everyone, for your presence today. It's been a joy spending this time with you. Thank you.